So someone just asked about why only one Abrupt Decay. I think it's a mistake to not run 4 Fatal Push. And once you're running 4 Fatal Push, you kind of need the rest of the cards you're playing to be able to kill larger threats. So like, while Abrupt Decay is very good, I think you need cards like Dismember and Maelstrom Pulse in order to kill larger threats that Fatal Push can't kill. So Abrupt Decay mostly kills the same things as Fatal Push. It's possible that I could split Decay and Brutality 2 and 2 in the main deck, but that makes you a little bit worse against spell-based combo game 1. I think it's okay, but it's not the worst. Seems like an acceptable 7. You did just miss Possibility Storm, Justin. We just wrapped it up. Deck was really sweet. Felt super powerful. I am playing the green-black deck at the Open this weekend. Is that, like, what are the matches where Gaze of Granite is better than just playing, say, Fracturing Gust? Could be Control, could be Burn. I'm gonna go ahead and take a peek here. If they're playing Burn, I'm gonna be a little bit sad that I didn't escalate this. Honestly, I have so many lands, maybe I should have just discarded a land to escalate this aggressively. No, but the opens are very exclusive and don't give out buys to everyone like Planeswalker points do. Yeah, I should have just escalated this. This is 10 out of 10 burn. So I haven't played an SCG event in a very long time. Yep. I guess I'm taking this. This matchup's pretty decent for us in general. I should have been more aggressive here, just like identified off their land start what they were doing. That's actually okay. That gains us 1, right? Because we know they have 2 helixes. If I didn't know this was going to take something, I probably wouldn't cast it here. But like, I know they have a lightning helix in their hand that I'm going to get to take. So this is technically a gain 1, and they gain 3 less. Yep, I agree. I agree. It should have been until that it was burned. I should have 2 more health right now, and one of these should be in my discard pile. 10 out of 10. I'm gonna run the no blocks here. Next turn we will Maelstrom Pulse this, plus fetch a forest, need it. You should never expect anyone to top 8. Magic's a game that has a good deal of variance in it, so expecting a specific result is generally a recipe for mistake, recipe for disaster. Let's see if they helix my Skoos or not. Nope, they're helixing me. Fair. Second Skoos. That's pretty good. I think I'm just supposed to be a little aggressive here and attack them. I need to kill them. Like, if I was at 8 and they were at 16 here, I'd be in such a better spot. Not to dwell on it too much. Removal. Ding. Yeah. Just can I talk about how good this is? This is why there's 3 brutalities in my main deck, by the way. Can we just yeah, just feed the Skoos, baby. Yeah, I'm just gonna fetch a black source here. Put this other Skoos into play. Now I should have fetched a green source, whatever. Baby. Is there any reason to play Dredge over Hollowed One? I think Dredge is good against Hollowed One. Scavenging Ooze is such a good Magic card right now. Such a good Magic card. Alright, so Cast Down is fine. Abrupt Decay is fine. Kalitas is fine. Thoughtseize is not fine. Just really, really clean in and out here. I don't think I want anything else here. You can maybe make the argument that Maelstrom Pulse is too slow and I'd rather have Fulminator Mage because it attacks. Also, sometimes they get stalled on lands, you can kill them. How do we feel about Maelstrom Pulse versus Fulminator Mage here? There's a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck in chat to find a deck list. I think I like this change. This card's fine here. Someone suggested cutting the Dismember. I actually think Dismember is fine in this matchup because if you're casting it for 1 mana, it's generally going to be saving you 4 or more points of health. And it does have the option to cast for more than that as well. This hand really wishes it had another land, but we have a lot of lands in our deck, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. It's hard to pass up Fatal Push into Tarmogoyf. Oh, they could have permanent base hate cards. That's true. That's true. They definitely could have permanent base hate cards. Definitely been bridged and ripped out of here before, so maybe I should hedge and leave the pulses in. It's a fair assessment. Scavenging Ooze is a good pickup here. Now, I think opening it at 2-for-1 is a little ambitious. I think that's pretty unlikely. I am actually just going to let this resolve, because I think I'd rather push this and then I get to play a giant Tarmogoyf. So we're going to go down to 13 here, but I think that's fine. We do have Decay in hand for this specific game. I think if they have like bridges and rips, I want access to more of that style of effect though. I'm just going to go ahead and play the Goyf out here. If they want to path my Goyf, that's pretty good for my current hand. Path's like the one thing that kind of punishes playing the Goyf here. What's going on, Furious Squirrel? Yeah, it's been a little bit. We're doing well. We have back-to-back 4-1 so far today. Or did we 3-2 with the first one? What was the first deck? No, we 4-1 twice so far today. If you go to gatheringmagic.com, can someone link my article? Is there a mod? Can a mod put a link to my article in chat somewhere? I wrote an article last week talking about why you should play this deck over the other one. Probably only have 1 spell left in their hands here. Yep, that's unfortunate. I think it was right to play the Goyf last turn still. We could definitely die here, right? Like they have Rift Bolt on suspend and they could rip Boros Charm. If we don't die here, I get to play Scavenging Ooze and then start getting some health, which is nice. What's going on, Warblazer? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and attack with this to get started, I think. Because this is going to get too smaller when I eat the Eidolon out of the discard pile. Whoa, that's aggressive. Or defensive, that's defensive. That seems great for me. Play this land out. So during their upkeep, I'm going to stop and eat a Monastery Swift Spear here. Yep, no longer have to eat Eidolon because of that. I was not expecting them to block there. That block is super defensive. Could still be dead. They could have 2-3 mana spells here. 3 damage spells here. Yeah, it looks like we're dead. Close game. Not too surprised that we ended up dying there. The fact that we had to fetch shock on 1 dealt us a little bit too much damage. Hey, Revenge25. Thank you for the Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of excellent people streaming on Twitch right now, so I appreciate you choosing to support my content this month with that. Thank you. I'm going to board these in just in case they have bridge. Mr. Ketter, how you doing, bud? Alive's a good start. Isian's great. Turn 1 discard spell, turn 2 Goyf. We don't take... The biggest thing about this hand, and this is one of this is one of the things about this deck and why it's really good in a matchup like this, is because we don't have we don't take damage from our lands a lot of the time, which is great. That is Modern Staple cast down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cast this down before they get a chance to exile their Rest in Peace. Yep. So now I get to go Inquisition you, take a burn spell. I have this Fatal Push, so I'm gonna leave the Eidolon up there for now. Stick the Tarmogoyf Disruption into a clock. That's exactly what you want. That's so good. I'm casting this now because it makes the Goyf bigger. Oh no, it doesn't. We actually already had enchantment there. I'm not playing the Scavenging Ooze out because I don't want them to get a chance to Lightning Bolt it. Yep. I'm gonna do this and take the bolt out of their hand because I still technically gain one. I'm gonna go ahead and correct them for 4. I'm gonna go ahead and play this, even though it puts me to 11. Get some health gain on the table. Hopefully they draw a land or 2 here or more creatures. Yeah, they must have drawn a land. Alright, normally I do my ad break after the second match, but Magic Online needs a reboot. So good morning, afternoon, and good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for joining us here. My name is Jeff Hoagland. We're practicing some Black-Green Rock. I'm taking this deck to the Open this weekend. If you're going to be in Kentucky, feel free to say hello. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the reason I'm able to do this full-time like I do. Subscriptions start at $4.99 a month, or if you're one of the many people out there who has Amazon Prime, you can link that to your Twitch account and get Twitch Prime included in that for free. Gives you a free channel subscription on Twitch every single month, and a bunch of other perks and benefits with that as well, linking those accounts. You can also support my stuff by supporting some of my sponsors. MTGOtraders.com. I'd love to buy and sell Magic Online cards with you, and if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And of course, Mack Weldon provides premium men's clothing. Using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/HoogleClothes, you can save 20% on your first order there. They do premium t-shirts, polos, pants, underwear, shorts, all sorts of fantastic stuff. At any rate, we are 1-0 in this league after beating Burn with green-black, and let's dive on in to the second match, shall we? Does someone feel Modern better without discard spells? So we actually talked about this a little bit yesterday. I think the only reason we're okay with cards like Inquisition and Thoughtseize in Modern is because the cards that Inquisition and Thoughtseize are generally stopping are much more obnoxious than Inquisition and Thoughtseize. I think in general, discard spells are bad game design. And what I mean by that is I think good game design creates cards that encourage both players to be able to make meaningful decisions throughout the course of the game. And discard spells take decisions away from one of the players in a game. So I think any cards that like actively limit the amount of decisions a player gets to make is bad and generally not great for the game. That being said, I'm sitting here playing a bunch of discard spells because I think this deck is very powerful and I want to play a good deck this weekend, so I would like to do well at the Open. Alright, so playing against the Prison deck. I feel counterspells are better game design because counterspells generally allow for counterplay between the two players. When my opponent passes with mana up for a counterspell, I have sequencing choice. I get sequencing choices on how I want to sequence my cards into their counterspells. Yep, looks like Lantern Control. Just the main deck cage usually indicates. Getting Thoughtseized here, Inquisitioned. I have one of my buddies that I'm going on the weekend trip with has all of the cards for the deck for me. Yes, Yori. Generically, just ask yourself the question, does this thing limit the amount of decisions players get to make? If yes, then I don't think it's good game design. It's a very simple if-then. No, Ancient Stirrings and Inquisition indicate that my opponent's not playing the prison deck that they're playing Lantern. And then obviously they now have a Lantern of Insight. Ooh, they could name Bloodstained Mire here. I assume they're going to name Liliana the Veil. Yeah. I don't think I'm particularly interested in this Collective Brutality. Do I want to save this Maelstrom Pulse for an Ensnaring Bridge? Probably. Probably. Feel like I'm pretty obligated to do that. I won one match with Ollie Mine at that event. I am not going to Minneapolis. Minneapolis is a little bit too far for me. Minneapolis is about an 8.5 hour drive from where I live in the central cornfields. With another Lantern on top, I wonder if they'll shuffle this one off my deck. I did win the one match that mattered. That is a great way to put it. It's a real big tilt. I'm gonna go ahead and concede the game. It's not worth the time to play out. So this feels good. They might have ley lines in their deck. Fulminator's fine. Thoughtseize is great. These fatal pushes are rancid. These collective brutalities are pretty bad. Dismember is terrible. Scavenging Ooze is fine. Tireless Tracker is excellent. Guess I'll trim 2 of these. I think that's all I want to do. Could have shuffled the bridge away with the field. Ooh, that's a good catch. That's a good catch. Thank you. That's good feedback. Okay, see, look at that specific and constructive feedback. That's so helpful. I appreciate the suggestion. Because searching with Field of Ruin is not optional. So even if my opponent doesn't want to get a land, they are obligated to shuffle their deck. Nah, I have Maelstrom Pulses and Liliana for the 1/4 hexproof guy. I think leaving in Fatal Push for a 1-of card out of their sideboard seems really bad. Just gonna time that message out as opposed to responding to how absurd it is. So, the change on the Liliana the Last Hope was because I was looking at how the cards in my deck lined up against, I was looking at how the cards in my deck lined up against humans, and I didn't really have room to bring in Liliana the Last Hope. And that meant if I wasn't really bringing it against humans, I mostly wanted it for matches where I was playing against control decks, and I just ended up switching it to a Fulminator Mage because Fulminator Mage is pretty good against Fulminator Mage is pretty good against, what's it called? Control decks on top of being good against Tron. This is why I brought in Golgari Charm, by the way, for those asking. Not that one Golgari Charm's gonna matter when they have double ley line, but they might clear the top of my deck here, because Tracker's pretty good against them. They don't know that I need a land. Yeah, we have 2 Maelstrom Pulses in our deck, so good news. We have plenty of things to discard to this Liliana. I'm gonna play the Liliana this turn just to clear the last card out of their hand. It could be a bridge. They haven't had a 3rd land to play it yet. So I'm gonna shock myself. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, not playing music is really a win-win. I don't break my Twitch partner agreement. You don't have to listen to my crappy music. You get to play your own music. So they have Lantern plus this to dig kind of aggressively here. They're obviously just looking for a bridge at this point. War of Invention's not even that good of a one to get to, right? Because they can't play it yet. I feel like they were supposed to have drawn this land. And I'm going to keep pushing the Liliana up, because in the event that we find a Maelstrom Pulse, and like, there's a non-zero chance we find the Maelstrom Pulse in the back of this Tireless Tracker. I want to be able to ult the Liliana if that comes up. Oh, you know what? Was I supposed to Stone Rain them here? If I Stone Rain them here, they couldn't War, and they couldn't play Bridge. Yeah, I think I was supposed to Stone Rain them there, actually. Oh, Spellbomb's a beating. I could have also prevented me and my guy from getting Spellbombed. Yeah, and I mean, like, that's the big thing, too. When people are like, that's the real reason people play music on their streams. They just, like, want an excuse to not actually provide entertainment. They want to use something that someone else has created to supplement what they're doing. So I'm gonna crack this clue here, hoping that they mill me in response. Wow, okay, deal. Getting to Stone Rain them here seems really good. And I'm gonna wait until they draw this War of Invention to plus this Liliana. Leyline does stop the Liliana ultimate. I said I was pushing her up for in the event that we draw Maelstrom Pulse. The music is copyright free, you're free to play it, but I've got bad news for you. If you think a lot of people that are streaming music are streaming copyright free music, you'd be very wrong. Most of the people that are streaming are not streaming copyright free music. They are streaming music that they don't have the rights to distribute on a platform like Twitch that is against their partner agreement. This matchup's probably not very good for us, the way my sideboard's constructed. I guess we have discard spells. If we hadn't gotten Leyline this game, we'd be in a better spot. But I guess if they hadn't gotten Leyline, then they'd have like other threats out. I assume this needle is going to target my Liliana here. We're pretty unlikely to win from here. They have double Millstone and we just don't have a lot of pressure. We went 4-1 with Possibility Storm. I don't even want to play music. I have no desire to play music while streaming. I think playing music while streaming is a lose-lose. If I wanted to listen to music while I streamed, I could very easily put music onto my headphones and not let you all listen to it. I'm just gonna go ahead and concede. I think we're pretty unlikely to win. I just don't feel like sitting through this. This isn't very valuable testing for me. Lantern Control just is a miserable deck and is not very popular, so I feel like it's just not worth my time to play it. I generally try to play Magic to have fun, so while I'd play through that if I was playing a tournament, I'm not going to play through it here. I'm not going to learn anything in this match. It's basically just going to come down to can I hit something before they hit bridge? And they're pretty likely to hit bridge. So, just not worth it. I'm glad that deck has mostly fallen off in terms of popularity. I think it just generates play patterns that are pretty uninteresting and not enjoyable to play against. And because this is the internet, I'm going to prefix that with that's a very subjective opinion that you are welcome to disagree with. I know there's plenty of masochists out there that enjoy Lantern Control, and you are welcome to that. There's people that enjoy playing Tron too. Yeah, the amount of magic fun points I'm going to acquire by sitting through that misery is not worthwhile. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of people that take money directly because of other people's work. Like, they literally are selling themselves as a jukebox. And think about Gaze of Granite. Somebody else mentioned that earlier. I feel like the matches where Gaze of Granite is good, you'd rather just have Fracturing Gust. I've considered Fracturing Gust in the sideboard before. It's a card I might still play this weekend. I don't see why you would play Gaze of Granite instead of Fracturing Gust. Like, the matches where you want Gaze of Granite to kill creatures are matches where Gaze of Granite is probably too slow. Like, if Gaze of Granite is probably too... Maybe it's fine against humans. Maybe Gaze of Granite is fine against humans. Like, that would be the question. Like, do I think I'd bring in Gaze of Granite against humans? I guess I can live to get to 5 and 6 pretty consistently. This is 10 out of 10 of Silvergill Adept, because that's the one that draws a card. Fairy Conclave inside of Merfolk is interesting. I like how every time we play this deck with Tarmogoyf, we just like, I never play against Merfolk, but every time we're playing a Tarmogoyf deck with the bugged Merfolk, we run into Merfolk. I mean, it's not strictly a budget option, right? Because the fact that it makes blue mana just means it's kind of different. It's not strictly worse. It's just, it's different. Maybe I'm just supposed to go tapped land, fatal push something here. My sequencing might be less than ideal. Playing that instead of this gives me information about the cards in their hand. I assume they're going to Dismember plus play their Master of the Pearl Trident. Yeah, I think the fact that I knew that they had Dismember makes playing this Tarmogoyf wrong. Gaze of Granite kills artifacts and enchantments. Mr. Tasty, always hyped for I don't know what FOR stands for. I don't know what FOR stands for. I understand why they're playing this card. I said it was wrong for them to play the island because we know this card is in their hand. So like, my opponent has given me information about the contents of their hand because of their sequencing. I could have activated fields here, but I'd rather activate field while I have a Tireless Tracker in play. So I think that seems a little bit loose. I guess it would prevent them from attacking with this turn. Field of Ruin, FOR, that sounds right. Okay, so like, I know their last card here now, so like, again, I've gained information based on the way they sequence, so like, I know not to play this Thoughtseize, for instance. I'm gonna play this Tireless Tracker though, get a clue. And then next turn, we can crack Field plus cast Abrupt Decay, which is nice. That being said, we're taking 4 here down to 12, down to 8. But I guess that's okay. And again, they played out the land that I didn't know about. I guess if I draw an untapped land, I can field plus Liliana, which is nice. Inquisition. And I know their last card's a land because of the way they sequence. I don't even have to think about playing that. So I don't think I'm probably cracking a clue this turn rather than Abrupt Decaying that. I'd like to see this Abrupt Decay for when they have a Lord in play. So I can activate this field plus crack a clue with the land. Ouroboros, they can fire up both Fairy Conclaves here. Really unfortunate that Abrupt Decay can't kill lands. So for those of you wondering why I'm not Abrupt Decaying a Fairy Conclave, that's why. That's always a question. If they attack here, I'm snapping off this block. If they drew a Lord, that's fine. I'm happy to trade this rather than take extra damage from a Lord. So I'm gonna go ahead and activate this on here. then this will give me an untapped land, which will give me a clue, and then I can pay 2 and sacrifice the clue to make this a 4/3. Hey, Superco, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. I do appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, I can decay the Spreading Seas. That's a good line. Good suggestion. And lets me Field of Ruin later. Tarmogoyf. I think I'd rather just Abrupt Decay the Spreading Seas rather than try and crack for a land this turn. We also have them on a pretty quick clock, right? Like, we've got 8 power in play here. Oh, geez. They draw something? God, that's a beating. I guess it just loses us tempo. It's not actually that bad for us. So we have this Goyf to block until they draw their Trickster that's bugged. Why would I want to decay the Vial? What does the Vial do at this point? I want to answer the question, how do I stop this thing from killing me? And the answer of how do I stop this from killing me is by getting my Field of Ruin back. So I would like to not lose the game, which is why I'm not going to decay their Vial. Yeah, Vial is a mana advantage. Vial is just card disadvantage at this point. It's like drawing another land. It allows them to be a little bit tricksy, but like it's really not that meaningful. So if we miss on a land here, I'm probably going to field plus crack a clue to try and hit the land for the turn. I just need to get this hat, right? Okay, whatever kind of hat this is. Yeah, that would have been a total beating if they would have tried to attack with an Island Walker too. Just like blow them out. Yeah, the Conclave not being Mutavaults were very, very good this game for my opponent. And I'm gonna go ahead and crack this clue and try and hit a land drop here. Obviously, we're not gonna attack since we're so low. Thanks for the bits, Jack G. Yeah, you're not wrong that that message gets thrown around non-sarcastically a good deal. They draw Trickster. Yup. Well, we did. We've got Abrupt Decays and Fatal Pushes to draw to, I suppose. This is pretty classic wrong half problem. Drew a bunch of discard spells against a matchup where we don't want to see those. Do I want to cut Inquisition in this matchup? I don't know that I do. I guess it's not very good compared to the rest of the cards. I think I'm happy with the rest of my pile of removal. Leave this one in. They had the soul read on the Abrupt Decay. Either that or they knew it was coming. One of the two when they didn't attack in with their Lord. Because they had the Lord that turn and chose not to attack in when I was Abrupt Decaying the Seed. Please read the stream rules. Avrian, you were timed out for not following them. That's fine. Not super exciting, but fine. There's a link to my deck list below the stream. You can also type !deck in chat to find your way to my Stream Decker page. It'll also be posted on the YouTube channel below the video later. Silvergill Adept. This is their best card against us, and it's not particularly close. Just threat the cantrips. Get to play this Liliana and tick down here. Pretty clean. Get to edict them, and the next turn we'll go tracker, play a tap land. So pretty good curve here on the play for us. They could like fire up Conclave and like kill Liliana, but them not advancing their board next turn would also be great for us. Like we already got to kill a thing with her. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good exchange for us. We'd like to deploy another threat to the board. I'm okay, Johnny Redeemed. I don't know, every time I've been playing this deck recently, I just feel like while this deck is good and has tools to win lots of games, it's just like I feel like Magic is less fun when I'm like trying to prepare for playing a competition with it, which I know sounds weird to like played infinite competitive Magic for a very long time, but just like the context of like the way I feel like I need to prepare for this tournament as opposed to just like focusing on dicking around and having a good time, it really feels like it takes away from actually playing the Magic for me. So I don't know. People have been asking me if I was going to go to more tournaments this year. I don't know. This is probably going to be the last one. Sure. He's dead, Jim. I'm going to kill this and just play another Scavenging Ooze out here, I think. I could, like, get aggressive here, but, like, they probably have a Harbinger or something like that in their hands. I don't know, like, I was enjoying playing this deck, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it out. I just feel like the dynamic of what I'm doing is different when I'm, like, worried about winning as opposed to just, you know, screwing around. Alright, so I get to go ahead and decay this, and then I'm gonna make both of these 3/3s and attack them. I guess I should rephrase. I don't think I'm going to do another open this year where I don't have people send me money to play it in advance. Because I don't remember feeling this way when, like, I was working on things for the Howling Mine Open. And, you know, like we say a lot here on stream, like, Magic doesn't pay enough at tournaments to, like, not enjoy what you're doing. Sure. Interesting that they didn't kill my creature land. No, probably very little chance I attend a Grand Prix. I'll be at Gen Con. If anybody's going to Gen Con, feel free to say hello if you see me there. Because it actually didn't matter. You have to block both of my things or you're dead. Yeah, I like this. These are good. These are good play to win blocks. My opponent's gonna get savaged here, but I don't think the fact that they got savaged makes their blocks wrong. I don't know too, like, so like, you know, I almost feel like I'm taking advantage of people to take money to go to an event like that. Like, I think I'd much rather just, like, they send me money to see decks that they want to see played. I feel like they're getting something much more tangible for what they're sending me stuff for when I play a deck that they want to see played on stream, as opposed to just, like, random playing an event and a thing. I'm not going to play Lantern at a Grand Prix. I think Lantern's a miserable deck, and it's not worth taking 3 or 4 days out of my life to play a deck that I really don't like at a Grand Prix. Life's too short. Maybe I should just play a threat here. Ooh, punished. This is probably a Harbinger of the Tides. Wow, what a blowout. They always board that card in against us. I guess I should learn to play around it. The last 2 times I've played against Merfolk, they've had Echoing Truth in their deck post board. Another Spreading Seas here. We're just gonna get hosed. Oh, they're just firing that up. That's good for us. The Bantwalker's deck is fine. It's just like traveling a long way just to like get slaughtered in a tournament generally isn't fun. Like Milwaukee was great because my wife got to come with me since all the expenses were covered, which is nice. It was basically just a weekend trip together. It's a good example of Tasigur being a great tempo play there. You have another bounce spell. I think the results imply it's one of the best decks. I think trying to argue definitively over what the best deck is in Modern is really silly considering the incomplete data that we have. And that's one of the reasons Wizards of the Coast keeps the data incomplete, because it keeps the plebs placent. You can't have an educated, informed discussion about what the best deck is if we just can't know. I think Humans is very powerful and very consistent at what it does. Is it the best deck? I don't know, probably. Are there a bunch of people on the internet that are going to argue with me that something else is actually the best deck instead of Humans? Almost certainly. Show me your Harbinger. My favorite card in Magic. Probably Birds of Paradise. It's a very iconic card. Yeah, I'm happy with how we boarded. Just gonna run it back. I kind of like the idea of Gaze of Granite the more I think about it. Because, like, I kind of want a third sweeper, but, like, I also want cards that, like, interact with Bridge and stuff like that. So, like, Gaze of Granite's really appealing from that aspect. Seems pretty good. Spot removal, sweeper, threat. Kiki Jiki's like, nah, it's probably Restoration Angel, actually. Kiki Jiki's just like a necessary evil with Restoration Angel to make her mostly competitive. I think I'm gonna lean on the Treetop Village here. It's my only green source, but like I also don't want them to spread me off of the other of my black sources here. Gaze of Granite is the card we were discussing for potential third sweeper. Relic's annoying, but like it's not pressure here, which is nice. I mean, to be fair, Goblin Charbelcher is a sweet card. Well, this is sweet for us, because now I get to, like, jam this Liliana and edict them. And then, if last game is any indication, they'll fire up their colony and eat Liliana, which also seems good for us. Just, like, don't let them enter their board next turn. Yeah, I also think that splitting your sweeper names against humans is really valuable, Zach. Like splitting up my names against humans is really valuable. If they attack in here after playing a tap land, I'm actually just gonna Abrupt Decay this Relic of Progenitus, right? Is that too aggressive? Should I just play the Kalitas? I should probably just play the Kalitas, right? Yeah, it's probably dumb to burn an Abrupt Decay on this. This will be annoying, but like I don't even have a Tarmogoyf yet. Yeah, I'm just gonna play this. This card's very good in these creature-based matchups if it gets to connect. They might tech edge me here aggressively since I don't have another green source in play. Deal. So I'm going to shock in this Overgrown Tomb and Abrupt Decay this. I want to use my green card pretty aggressively here because I'd prefer that if they kill my land, I don't have any green spells left. I think not playing 4 O-Stones is pretty wrong, Smith, for what it's worth. I think O-Stone's one of the best cards in Tron. You should just be playing all of them. I think, especially with, like, Damping Sphere being added to the format, like, O-Stone's very good against Damping Sphere. It would give my opponent the ability to play a 2-mana spell on my turn, which would enable Trickster. Saving Field of Ruin is also good in the event that my opponent has a something or other, whatever that card's called. Or in the event that I draw a Tireless Tracker. That's the word I was searching for. Damnation. It's pretty good. I'm gonna go and attack with both of these. God, that's pretty good for me. Oh, jeez. Oh, these aren't gonna go to the bin because of, yeah, so the ooze isn't very good anyway. So I'm gonna sack this here, just gain some extra health. If they have the thing that bounces my guy, I'm a little bit sad here, but if they have the thing that bounces my guy, I just like Damnation and clear their board, so that's fine. I'm at 26, you're at 8, go. Yeah, tapping the Field of Ruin is fine there, because I can't activate it anyways. I guess maybe I could activate plus sacrifice, but that seems a little loose. I'd rather leave Fatal Push up, I think. And they only have 2 cards left, so cycling the Relic here makes sense. This is a good example of why I'm just like a fan of Kalitas in general and why I had 2 in some of my builds. I just think she's a super powerful card. Tasigur, the Golden Fish. There's a Languish because of Meddling Mage against humans. Also, like, look at this board. Languish won't kill my Kalitas. Languish won't kill my Tasigur. We have a bunch of cards that Languish doesn't kill. Sweet. I'm gonna send this back to my hand. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and Damnation. Deal. Need to eat my 2/2. Oh no. I suppose I could just Fatal Push their Master of the Pearl Trident, but I think I'd rather just get value out of this Damnation. I think the Fatal Push has value with their 3 creature lands that are in play. I think Obliterator doesn't solve problems that this deck has, so I don't think I have a reason or a need to play it. I think when you're looking to make changes to a deck, you should ask yourself, hey, what issues does this deck have and how do I solve them? And I don't think any of the problems that this deck has are solved by adding a 4-mana 5/5 with Trample to it. It's a little annoying. Yep. I think Kalitas is a fine main deck card if you're expecting a lot of the decks that it's good against to be popular. You beat me, JDM. Good APM. You guys like my Mono Black Devotion deck? Dismember is pretty good. We're going down to 22 though. Like Kalitas just like buffered our health total up so much. He's more Gary, right? Put my lethal threat into play. I try to rewind and see what they said. Yep. Nah, I don't really care about doing game design type stuff. Just interested in playing games for the most part. I'm okay at playing games. Above average at the very least. It's another Harbinger of the Tides. It is annoying. Actually can't replay Tasigur just yet. Yeah, the Conclaves have been... I guess they're kind of worse than Mutavaults this game, since they're costing them more mana. Sure. They also don't get the bonus from this Lord of Atlantis. So this is kind of interesting. I think I have enough health total here that I'm just going to take this hit. I want to get a green mana with this Field of Ruin. So, like, I don't really want to Fatal Push this. Like, I could, if I got a Swamp, I could Fatal Push this and, like, maybe trade, but I think that's loose. I think that's not what I'm looking to do. So I can Fatal Push this. I can ship with the Scavenging Ooze. If they try to block, I make my guy a 3/3 and eat theirs. If they don't block, I pay 4 mana and play Tasigur. Saying it's strictly better flying seems like an oxymoron, Badger GTK. Like, it's obviously not strictly better. Oh, I just missed lethal. Wasn't paying attention. 10 out of 10 could have gone for lethal there. Could have cast down their 2/2 and then 8/2 creatures. Instead, I'm going to play this Tasigur and pass. So I'm aware that I had an option to present lethal there, but I did not think about it. And it's probably right to not make them have it. I think we're pretty far ahead. No reason to get blown out. Level up your Coral Hum Commander. Cast him down and attack you with 2 lethal threats next turn. This is super aggressive. They have a trickster here? Smells like a trickster. Weird. Yep, I agree. I just hadn't thought about the fact that I potentially had lethal there. So, like, I didn't stop and consider it. It's probably not right to try and push lethal there, but I didn't think about it, and I feel like I should have thought about it before. You have an Echoing Truth? Best priority. Are you dead? Poor Tasigur. That being said, I've got the Scavenging Ooze in play. Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to that. I can play Tracker, make a clue next turn. Going down to 16 here. We'll go back up to 17 when we eat something with the Scavenging Ooze here in a second. They have 2 pieces of food in their bin for us. We draw a piece of spot removal. We can kill this when they activate it. Field of Ruin also good. Yeah, I think Tasigur is fine. Like, he's just a meaty threat that they have to deal with. Like, if they're not tempoing him, they're tempoing something else. The opponent's deck just doesn't get large enough consistently enough, I don't think, for Tasigur to be good. For Tasigur to be that bad. I'm not sure that Inquisition is good enough. Basically, I leave Inquisitions in against humans. I have 3 copies of Collective Brutality in my deck. That's basically Lightning Bolt. Bonus at 2. Conclave is likely a budget choice. I agree with that. Ooh, they have Mutavaults too. Maybe they just haven't drawn them and they're playing both. More creature lands in Merfolk seems good. The fact that these have been flying has been relevant a couple of times so far. Alright, they're dead a couple of ways now, obviously. Attempt to kill you. Bolt you. Alright, sweet. 2-1 after conceding a match to Lantern out of misery. I'm gonna run to the bathroom really quick and then we're gonna finish this league and play a little bit more. Don't go anywhere, folks. Thanks for hanging out. The outdoors? That's terrifying. I hear Declan talk about the outdoors sometimes, but I don't believe that it really exists. We're currently 2-1 in this league. We beat Burn and Merfolk, and we lost to Lantern Control. I agree. I like this list without Dark Confidant as well. I kind of like the idea of Grimflayer in this deck, but I really don't like the idea of playing artifacts just to enable Delirium and you just really don't enable Delirium consistently without the artifact, so I don't think it's worth adding Grimflayer. I think it's pretty good. Spot removal and threats. Hopefully they're not a Lotus Plume deck. Is there a reason the Possibility Storm deck plays Endless One over Hanger Backwalker? Nope, you could play any 0 mana thing. Huh, Steam Vents go. I'll play this tapped. I'll hold the fetch lands for my tracker potentially. They might play something that I want to push onto, but Steam Vents likely doesn't have anything that I want to push onto. Grimflayer and Tasigur is actually a combo because Grimflayer fills your graveyard up to make Tasigur easier to cast. Grimflayer, a budget. There really isn't a good budget replacement for Liliana. Liliana is a pretty unique effect. Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go. You can't play other artifacts in your deck if you play Hanger Backwalker. That is 10 out of 10 correct. Electrolyze? Geistis ain't trash. Electrolyze. I think this matchup's probably hard for us, so I'm excited to play it a little bit here. See the Fulminator Mages out of the board field. Just gonna keep passing for now. I think I want to wait to draw a discard spell before I jam my Tireless Tracker. We just really don't have anything going on here, so like playing my one threat into a counter spell like Cryptic Command or Logic Knot sounds really bad. Sure, it does, but like I can just kill that on 2 and like not play Scavenging Ooze right away, which is fine. I don't think that's strictly true. I think the people saying that Tasigur is bad with Grimflayer are overthinking it. I think Grimflayer enables Tasigur is the way you want to think about it. Just gonna pass here again. The Liliana's interesting. It means that maybe next turn I lead on Tracker, and then when they counterspell it, I stick Liliana afterwards. We went 4-1 with the Possibility Storm deck. Archives will be up on YouTube a little while.
You need anything before I go?
No, I'm good. A control deck, giving a win con. So my problem with Liliana the Last Hope is that in matches like against blue-white control and Jeskai control, which I think are the 2 most grindy matches in the format, it just doesn't really have a text box. Like, they're exiling so many of your threats that you're not going to be able to rebuy them with her. And like her +1's kind of mediocre and her ultimate is really slow and clunky. So I had a Last Hope the last time I played this deck, and I cut her because I just wasn't happy with how she was performing. I think Mardu Pyromancer is not really a deck I'm concerned about playing against. I think it's not particular. I think it's a fine deck, but I don't think it's particularly popular. Main deck negate. All right, well, I'm gonna jam this Tracker. We could get Mana Leaked or Logic Knotted, but I want to play this while they don't have Cryptic Command up. So even if this gets countered, I'm pretty sure it's right to jam it here. Ding. So we'll get our free clue here, and I'm not going to crack the fetch land because I want my opponent to act first. If they point a removal spell at Tracker, we'll fetch in response, which will then hopefully net us another clue unless they want to spend another removal spell. I'm gonna grab another basic Swamp here so I can crack a clue at their end step. Still have 4 basics in my deck, so that should be plenty, I think. Or creature lands is pretty good. This might be wrong to play out into Cryptic Command. Snap Negate, it's pretty good too. Maybe I'm just supposed to wait a turn. Yeah, I think this is wrong because I'm supposed to like wait until I can have a double threat turn. Because I have Field of Ruin here, I have an answer to Colonnade already, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dismember the Snapcaster Mage for full mana cost here. But yeah, I think playing the Liliana out there was wrong because I wanted to wait until I could play a double spell turn basically, so that way when they interacted with my first spell I could play a follow-up spell and know it was going to stick. Yeah, like they have 6 cards here. It's just so many cards. It's good Teferi Insurance. All right, let's go. Another Electrolyze? That would be pretty brutal. They have a Snapcaster Mage. Bolts maybe. What are we doing, opponent? God, writing articles is great. Have a link. Enjoy. If you have specific questions, feel free to ask after reading that. No, it's not a stupid question at all. It's in fact the most common question that gets asked. That's why I wrote about it. God, they do. Whoa, that's super aggressive. Okie doke. Yeah, I've played Magic before. The good news is they haven't found a Colonnade yet. I assume they have a Path to Exile in their hand, though. What do I want to eat out of their bin in response to this Path to Exile? That's the question. Probably the 3 burn spells. So we'll eat Helix and the double Helix and the Electrolyze. For the record, I think Bloodbraid Elf is very good in matches like this. It's a similar amount of good to Tireless Tracker, but I think on average, it's just like not nearly as good against the field. I think having a better mana base with cards that serve the same function make it better. I think people undervalue having good mana and being able to cast their spells consistently in Magic in general, especially in Modern. And I think people undervalue not taking a bunch of damage from casting their spells just from playing their lands out. I don't think you need more than that. Eventually, right, to play out there pre-combat so that they kill the creature lands. They shouldn't kill the creature lands before attack. So maybe, I don't think making plays to play around your opponent making mistakes, maybe it's fine. I ended up playing a land anyways, right? So it's probably fine. Why do you think that trade-off is worth it? Because I think Modern's a very aggressive format, and having to manage your health total like that with the Death Shadow deck just isn't possible in a lot of situations. I also think people really undervalue this card. Honestly, and this is, I didn't mention this in the article, I think the thing you lose the most by going green-black instead of Jund, I think Raging Ravine is the biggest loss in comparison. What? Okay. Yup. All right. Sure. Yep. That's certainly a thing. Is certainly a thing. I don't know if Kalitas is good enough here. Probably not. I'm just gonna board like this. Cut the fatal pushes, and this felt pretty clean. I cut these 6 cards, and I boarded in 3 Fulminators, a Charm, and a Thoughtseize. This deck doesn't have ways to get a lot of extra cards in the discard pile quickly, so the fact that Tasigur costs 1 less mana on the delve is very relevant. You'll notice a lot of the times we delve our entire graveyard or leave 1 to 2 key cards in there while casting Tasigur for the maximum amount. I think in a deck that doesn't have access to things like Faithless Looting and Thought Scour to needlessly put extra cards in their graveyard, that extra card comes at a very real cost. I think Sylvan Advocate. No, I think waiting till you get 6 lands is silly. I think that upside is not worth how long it takes to get going. Easy bottom. They have Nahiri, Teferi, and Through the Breach in their deck. Gosh, that's nuts. That's so much top end. Like, I'm not surprised to see either of these, but like seeing those in addition to the Through the Breaches seems kind of insane to me. Yeah, just like they really want to grind. Oh, that's sweet. I like drawing spells. Spells are exciting. Killing Hallowed One. Killing Mantis Rider with a +1/+1 counter on it. The fact that Languish misses, they drew a Bolt in their 2-draw Snapcaster. Ambush Viper makes sense. So they have Seachrome Coast, Nahiri, Teferi in hand. So we'll just slam this Liliana. I think I'm gonna bin this fetch land. Keep the Field of Ruin for when they draw Celestial Colonnade later. Playing 1 Breach sounds awful with 1 Emrakul. Like, expecting to draw both of your 1-ofs sounds incredibly ambitious. But maybe that's what they're doing. That feels good. Look at this. If I had a Gurmag Angler here, I couldn't cast this card. Remember when we were just talking about this? I couldn't cast this if it was Gurmag Angler. I'm not playing around Blood Moon out of my opponent's Jeskai deck. If they want to Blood Moon me on top of everything else they have going on, more power to them. No, I've not played Mardu Pyromancer much. I don't like to write articles on things that I don't have experience with. All right. Feel like we stole that a little bit. I guess the games we win in matches like this, we probably have to steal. It's probably Nahiri or Karn. I guess Chandra Torch of Defiance is pretty good too. Green Sun Zenith is banned because the modern ban list is not consistent in the slightest. These are going to be really bad when they play Relic on 1, but I think I'm keeping this. Dang, no Relic. I'm going to play this fetch on 1 even though I drew the tracker. We'll draw more lands. I just want to like fetch my Overgrown Tomb tapped, I think. Why wouldn't you play Cast Down over Dismember instead over a Pulse if you wanted to run Cast Down mate board? Because the only reason I would play Cast Down in the main board is if I wanted more cheap, efficient removal. I believe I talked about playing against aggressive decks, and Maelstrom Pulse is bad against aggressive decks, generally speaking. Like, it's okay, but it's not like a card you're excited to reach for. This is the rare Tarmogoyf that can die to a lightning bolt, but I'm not playing a threat here. Lightning Helix, same difference. Kids that don't know your history, Liliana the Veil was over $100 while she was in Standard. I think at multiple points, definitely at release. Yeah, Baby Jace was up there too, right? You could technically argue he wasn't a Planeswalker though, I suppose. Cast my Stone Rain here. There is a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck in chat to get a deck list link. There's a non-zero chance they don't have Cryptic Command in their like 4 mana pile of greed deck, but I'm gonna kill their blue sources just in case. Maybe I'm supposed to jam Liliana here. I don't really have anything I really want to discard. I guess I don't need the Golgari Charm. Running into Negate feels pretty bad though. It's a shame I don't have another fetch land. We got kind of punished for playing this out early. I can get Electrolysis and feel terrible. Just Helix, sure. Helix is much better than Electrolytes there for us since we stay card neutral. Next turn I can Liliana plus Tarmogoyf, which is kind of great. Start with Goyf for good measure. Have we seen a Colonnade out of them this match? I feel like I haven't, right? Sweet. Didn't get Tefreed. Wouldn't have mattered. I'm gonna hold on to lands for the time being, since we have 3 Tireless Trackers in our deck still. The Fulminator Mage was pretty mediocre here. Maybe that plan's not very good and I just want some value cards on my sideboard to draw cards with. Like an Obnixilis or something like that. Obnixilis Karn. Maybe the Last Hope is actually fine. Not actually sure. That's pretty good. So I want to have 4 mana up when I cast this. I want to delve the minimum amount of cards here. I want to leave Tireless Tracker as the only spell in my bin, so I have the highest chance of getting a Tireless Tracker back when I activate this Tasigur. Painful Truths isn't good in a deck that can only make 2 colors. Beast Within? Why would I want a Beast Within? What problem does that solve? Again, that's the question you want to ask yourself. What are you fixing? What are you changing by making this change that you're suggesting? Just a good clean 2 for 1 and like Read the Bones could be okay. I don't know, it's probably worse than playing Obnixilis. That's Nahiri, yep. They liked their last card. So I'm gonna Fulminator this Hallowed Fountain, and then they'll float mana, I'll change phases, and I'll Maelstrom Pulse the Nahiri. That's pretty decent. Finks could be okay. I had a Finks in the board at one point. I think that card's fine. I'll change phases so their mana pool empties here. Five mana Garruk was actually on the list of planeswalkers I considered. I think the fact that Obnixilis can be removal is better. Again, like, chat. Focus. Focus, chat. Problems I'm looking to solve. Feeling behind against blue-white and Jeskai control. Things that doesn't help that. Surgical Extraction. Oh, geez, did they draw a Teferi? Fuck. Oh. Sure. Yeah, Obnixilis is pretty good. For what it's worth, I think he's pretty reasonable. I should just keep Stone Raining them, right? This keeps them off of casting Teferi. Like, could you imagine if one of these Fulminator Mages had just been like a threat that could draw cards? Thrawn could be okay. Thrawn could be okay. And this is kind of interesting. I don't hate that idea. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Carnage Tyrant. You don't have clue tokens sticking around. You're cracking your clues to draw cards. Garruk Primal Hunter is not very good card draw. They just kill your creature in response to it. Can play like a Thrag Tusk too. Something like that's not terrible. I'm gonna Helix my Dome here. The problem with Bitter Blossom is similar to the issue that I have with Dark Confidant. You just like can't control your health total with it, and eventually it kills you. The problem is like, is Eternal Witness better than just like playing? Is Eternal Witness better than just playing? What's it called? Liliana the Last Hope? Probably not. Yeah, we have reason to believe they have a Plains in their deck. Maybe I should play a Field of Ruin out here. Probably holding too many lands, even with Tracker in my deck. and Life from the Loam isn't a value. I don't want value cards that depend on my graveyard. Which was another part of the reason why I ended up cutting the Last Hope from this configuration. Like, value cards that depend on me having a graveyard. Like, people already board in stuff like Relic against my Tarmogoyf deck. So, having another thing that leans into the graveyard to do stuff seems bad. Alright, we're dead. No, I don't think so. Again, just like, that's not a card that actually kills them. Dark Confidant is just a lightning rod. I don't want a card that just eats a bolt and dies. I want a card that, like, if we manage to resolve it, guaranteed generates card advantage. And Last Hope doesn't do that. That's why I'm talking about cards like Obnixilis or Thrun. Yeah, Thrun seems like the best suggestion. Kitchen Finks and Thragtusk aren't bad either. Kitchen Finks, Thragtusk, Thrun, Obnixilis. Those all seem like reasonable suggestions. Yep. Yeah, I agree. We have like a graveyard centric sub theme. That was the wrong fucking land to click on. I had to click on that. Yeah, I don't want to draw. I don't want. No, at least this matchup's probably good for us. Yeah, Flipnessa is interesting. She's maybe a little bit narrow in general, but it's an interesting card to consider. Yeah, I agree, Gregor. I think Karn's just worse than Obnixilis in a deck like this because we can't support his minus. Obnixilis actually wins the game, whereas Karn doesn't actually win the game for us. Karn draws us other cards that might win us the game, whereas Obnixilis ticking up directly wins the game. I think Argo's Bloodfast is far too slow and clunky. It also requires continuous mana investments. It's easier to get under counter magic, but the continuous investment seems. And again, like, paying 2 health to draw a card or multiple health to draw a card is a pretty big cost in my mind against the deck full of Lightning Bolts and Lightning Helixes. Because remember, against blue-white, your health total is fairly liberal and you can use it as the resource. Against Jeskai, that's far less true. They're 10 out of 10 on Goblin Grenade deck, right? Hey, Dom Gabe, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate it. There's a lot of excellent people streaming on Twitch right now, so I appreciate you choosing to support my content this month with that. Thank you and welcome. I don't think I'm supposed to full escalate this. Yeah, take that grenade. Yeah, I agree. Arena's probably better than that. That's a good draw. Lightning Bolt is their last card. So probably, so I'm taking 1, 2, taking 6 here, down to 9. I'm at a virtual 8, I'm at a virtual 5. Probably the Fulminator Mages, JDM. Some mix of like the Fulminators and the Thoughtseizes. The extra Thoughtseizes, I probably don't need the extra Thoughtseize. In fact, the way the discard's been lining up, I might actually go down on Thoughtseize, the number of Thoughtseizes that I'm playing in total. Tarmogoyf's a pretty good draw. Generally speaking, they're not going to have a shortage of goblins. Why is leaving the Reckless Bushwhacker better? Leaving the Reckless Bushwhacker has worse stats, I guess. If they want to trade this Lightning Bolt plus a Bushwhacker for my Tarmogoyf, I'm okay with that because it lets my tracker come into play and take over the board, hopefully. So hopefully I'm going to block here. And then, wow, they're just not going to do anything. Well, that's really good for me. Use your words. Don't make me explain myself to you. Say, Duress isn't Duress better than Thoughtseize because, and then tell me why it should be better. And if you can't think of a reason why, it's probably not. If you think it's better, explain why it could be better. The problem with Garruk Relentless is that half the matchups or more that I want the card advantage in are Lightning Bolt matchups. So bringing in a Planeswalker that relies on having 3 loyalty in matchups like that isn't very helpful, I don't think. Scavenging Ooze was the best possible draw in my deck there. This card is so good against these random aggressive decks. No, I don't. I think you have plenty of cards in your discard pile a lot of the time. Am I gonna start attacking with the Tarmogoyf? I think I'm gonna start attacking with the Tarmogoyf. Nah, wait one more turn. No, wait one more turn. I don't know what Slimefoot is. Up to 9. I don't think I want the extra discard spell in my board, is the thing. I think I just don't want it. Honestly, I might have too many discard spells in my main deck. It's a pretty good draw. Forces them to use their removal spells. Whoa, that's a good hit. Fucking A. Gobble, gobble. Like, and just like, it just is a good like deck building and critical thinking exercise. And whenever you want to present an idea to anyone, not just on this stream, just about cards in general, instead of putting the onus on the person that you're asking or is building the deck, try and be helpful, try and be constructive, try and be like, well, instead of needling them and asking them why they shouldn't play this card, maybe I should come up with reasons why they should play this card. And by being constructive and offering that why you should play that card, you can give the person that you're talking to something to think about and something to actually mull over, as opposed to just forcing them to try and be dismissive about what you're saying. It's a lot harder to be dismissive when you can provide a logical, constructed argument for what you want them to add. I think the 2-day opens are much easier than the old 1-day opens. The old 1-day opens were really difficult because they were really long tournaments. Like, the record that you need in order to top 8 a tournament that is, 11 rounds and you can only take 1 loss, like, it's just insane. Nah, it's probably not needed. Am I exactly dead to Goblin Grenade? No, I'm not, right? Because I don't have any goblins left. Can also gain 1 here. Grenade's a sorcery, right? I'm like 90% sure Grenade's a sorcery. It is. Sweet. So you're dead. All right. Good chat. Good chat. All right. Say hello to my friend Golgari Charm. Doop, doop, doop. Get these out of here. Get these out of here. I guess Liliana's pretty bad. Inquisition's probably not terrible in this matchup. Liliana's real clunky. I think I'm not particularly happy with the Jeskai deck. I think I have some ideas of things I want to push around in this deck after this match. We'll talk about them when I have it up on screen and I can actually cut things. Oh, cast down should be in my deck. 10 out of 10. This should be a cast down. This just shouldn't be in my deck. Dismember is fine in this matchup. Cast down should be in my deck over Liliana. I just left it sitting up there and I wasn't paying attention. I'm gonna mulligan this. No fetch land makes the Tarmogoyf a lot worse, and just like not having a removal spell on you. Sign me up. Kill your stuff, kill your stuff, kill your stuff. Play Scavenging Ooze. All right, so they know my boy Scavenging Ooze is coming down next turn. Ew, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna escalate this Collective Brutality next turn, I think. What am I discarding? I think I just want to go full escalation here. I'm gonna bin this. I think I'm gonna bin an Abrupt Decay too. Ding. Devastating Summonings. They can make 2 3/3s with that. That seems fine. I'm gonna take your grenade away. Go. Yep, all of my videos end up on YouTube after I'm done streaming. So we're gonna do one more league after this one today. So we'll probably get published, I don't know, 90 minutes to 2 hours from now. Somewhere in that time frame. This is the last match in this league, and then we're gonna play a league with Scred to wrap the day up, I think. Ooh, Tarmogoyf. I'm gonna play Scavenging Ooze out here, actually, I think. Just like get my health gain going. Precip, I did get your whisper. I don't check whispers or private messages anywhere during the stream. I see I have a window from you on my Twitch bar, but there's just too much stuff going on to check them midstream. All right, they can turn 2 of these goblins into killing the Scavenging Ooze, but I think I'm okay with that. Yes, yeah, I have a fiber internet connection. I have 500 down and 100 up. No, we're not gonna have time to get to Angel Court today, unfortunately. So that'll go back in the queue, and we'll probably do it tomorrow or Wednesday. These other decks all just ended up being like 2-hour leagues. So the problem, like, I'm being kind of picky about the cards I want for my sideboard. The problem with something like Nissa Vital Force is the same problem with Liliana the Last Hope, is that Nissa depends on the graveyard in order to generate card advantage, and I think depending on the graveyard to generate card advantage makes her a lot worse. I think we're probably going to see this into Devastating Summons. Access to 2. My question is, should I sideboard Anger or Radiant Flames? I think you probably shouldn't play Anger without a 3rd red source to fetch. And if you can't afford a 3rd red source, you should probably play Radiant Flames. It's really unfortunate that we can't Field of Ruin to fix our mana here. I'm just gonna play Drago here with my brick wall. This is my brick wall. Its name is Tarmogoyf. That's true. That's true. Ultimate does draw cards, and I guess she attacks pretty quickly. Maybe Nissa Vital Force is good. Maybe that's a card I could consider. That isn't a card that I had considered before. Courser's interesting. The problem with Courser is that it doesn't always generate card advantage. Yeah, Obnix is definitely on my list. They have a shitter. They drew a shitter. That's unfortunate. I guess Golgari Charm's kind of the nut here, huh? Yeah, the more I think about it, I like that Nissa Vital Force is a very aggressive card too. Because, like, especially in the matchups where I'm talking about wanting card advantage, I want to be, a lot of the time I'm being aggressive. So I get to go ahead and eat poop, little goblins. So they'll put us to 13. This will die. They didn't put us to 13. Okay, so I get to eat an elemental and then take 5. No wonder emotes didn't work for me. Mr. Silicon, thanks for the 13-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Punished. Punished for the one I blocked. I think it was right to block. I only have 2 Maelstrom Pulses in my deck. Alright, so they're dead in 5. I'm dead in 5. I'm going to start attacking since I have this Abrupt Decay. Hey, Merkinder, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. And there's a lot of excellent people producing content on Twitch right now, so thanks for supporting my stuff here. I do appreciate it. I think Wish Proto Elemental is a little bit too clunky. Didn't want to wait to YouTube to watch Possibilities to Armand to say, there's a reason why we use YouTube. The Twitch VODs are not great, I concur. Deathcloud is bad. How can I be constructive and explain why Deathcloud is bad? I don't have a, this is why. This deck doesn't have a good way to break the parity that Deathcloud creates. Yeah, Flipness is interesting too. Well, we're looking for cards that like fill a specific role, and the role we're looking to fill is generally filled by clunkier cards. I would like to kill this now, please. I did take enough hits that were potentially dead to a Goblin Grenade, but like they're down 2 grenades already. God, these fucking fields, man. I guess they're dead next turn anyways. I actually really like the idea of Vital Force. Thrun also seems reasonable. I don't feel like I have room for... I don't feel like I have room for copies of more green producing lands that don't make black mana. I already have 7 lands that don't make black mana, and I think that's probably almost too many. I think Field of Ruin on average is a little bit better than Horizon Canopy. I haven't tested Horizon Canopy. All right, so we 3 and 2. That was the first time we did worse than 4 and 1 with the deck. All right, things I'm thinking about. The more games I play, the less I'm a fan of Thoughtseize in the current format. Like, Redo could cut all of the Thoughtseizes from one of his Jund lists, and I think he was right about that. I kind of want to do this and go down to 6 1-mana discard spells in the main and bring this Abrupt Decay in. Yeah, Nissa Vital Force seems like a card that could be a winner. She can also like rebuy Fulminator Mages and stuff. So I've got one more Dealer's Choice in the queue, so we'll probably play this again either tomorrow or Wednesday. I think I'm gonna try Nissa Vital Force. I think I want like 3 cards on the board for blue-white control. Yeah, maybe this Abrupt Decay doesn't have to be Abrupt Decay. It could be like this Cast Down too. I think I just like want another piece of spot removal. I agree that like Abrupt Decay is kind of medium. I like access to a second one. Having another card to kill Hollowed One is appealing though, so that seems reasonable. I can also like drag this Kalitas kicking and screaming into the main deck. This card's pretty good. I think I like the idea of Gaze of Granite as a 3rd sweeper, probably over one of these Golgari Charms. Do I want Thrun on the board? Thrun is probably just the droid I'm looking for, right? So here's the thing about Thrun though, like, I guess a lot of them don't have Wrath of God. Maybe that's a lie. I guess some of them do because of... He also gets, like, Settle the Wreckage, but with discard spells, I can play through Settle the Wreckage. I am definitely going to try this Nissa Vital Force. I think I'm super in for her. We 4-1 with Tron to start the day. So I think I'm gonna do this at a minimum for tomorrow, and I'm gonna figure out what are the other 2 cards. I'm gonna put so here's the goal. I want to put 2 other cards in here that could be good against blue, white, and Jeskai control, but ideally aren't dead against the rest of the field. So like, I guess Liliana is like a card that kind of does that. She kind of sucks when they turn off your graveyard, but she should probably just be in here. I think Hero's Downfall is too much extra mana. No, Hearthstone's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Wannabe Beetle. We're gonna do one more Magic League today. So I'm doing Hearthstone's Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put these Planeswalkers back in. This Planeswalker back in. I'm gonna try Vital Force. Maybe I just want a spread of them. I kind of like Omnix. Omnix is kind of a card that I have a personal attachment to. I really like this card. I kind of like this. This is down 2 discard spells from what I played last time, but like, honestly, with 3 Damping Spheres and a Grafdigger's Cage, like, I probably don't need that many discard spells against like Storm. And with the Brutalities, I basically have 9 discard spells. Yeah, just like a smattering of different card advantage here is probably good. I don't know, the more I think about this card, the more I just think like, this is exactly just what I want in this deck. Like, the fact that this card can generate card advantage while also just being a card that can just be like, come down on turn 5 and like 5 you is like really huge. I like the idea of splitting them, except for the derpy artwork, yeah. I don't know, I really like the idea of what Nissa is, because like, again, she's a piece of card advantage that's also like this really aggressive card when you need to be aggressive, and we're definitely the beatdown in the matches where we want to board in aggressive cards. So I don't know, I'm gonna think about it. I'm definitely playing this card tomorrow. Or we'll probably just split these. I want to try Gaze of Granite as well. I think this switch into the main deck of trimming the discard spell and bringing this extra removal spell in is fine. Nissa would be for any of the grindy matchups. So like a Mirror against Jeskai, against blue-white control. Yep, yeah, I think Thrun is less good because people are diversifying their sweepers because of humans. Well, Fulminator Mage is like fine against control decks. You also like don't want to get caught with your pants down against Celestial Colonnade, because this can come in against humans. Liliana the Veil is amazing, and I would not play less than 4 of her. Well, the fact that Liliana is very good against spell-based combo decks and Tron is very reasonable. All right, what are we doing? What's the last one? Let's spread some people. Let's think a little bit less and Blood Moon a little bit more. If you didn't catch all that league, it's going to head up to YouTube now, and it'll be